Right then, this is a quick walk around video for a lovely Civic. It's a 1.8 SR manual. The car's covered 54,000 miles. Finished in this lovely passion red metallic, which looks absolutely fantastic on the car. Go around the front of the car for you first. Lights and lenses, nice and clear, no cracks or condensation in them. Bonnet, very, very clean indeed. Any stone chips are very, very minor and minuscule in size. Near side of the car, lovely and smooth in the panel work, really clean. There's no kind of obvious indentations that are jumping out at me. Near side front alloy, very nice condition. And then the panel work. Near side rear alloy, again, absolutely lovely. And the back of the car, bumper corner, very clean. The bumper itself, the black extension on the SR is really nice. The side of the car, lovely and smooth in the panels, really, really nice. The paintwork always looks fantastic on these cars, I have to say. It's one of the loveliest colours. Panels very nice, any marks again, just very light. And then final alloy, generally good, just a tiniest bit of curbing on that one, but it's minuscule. But for a car that's now 10 years old, it's in fabulous condition. Coming to the boot area, cavernous boots, subwoofer in this one, absolutely enormous, beautifully finished. Coming to the back, this is where Civics, like all family cars, can be very heavily used, yet this one's been treated beautifully. The leatherwork is in fantastic condition. Coming to the driver's side front, full set of original Honda mats in the car. Passenger seat, again, has been kept in super condition. Finally coming inside, again, all very nice. Driver's seat, again, for the car of its age, remarkably good. So inside the car now, as always, the engine's running, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. Absolutely stunning interior. Sat nav, you can see working perfectly there. Let's pop the car into reverse, you can see the rear parking camera, which complements the front and rear parking sensors, all working perfectly. Carry on down, it's just been kept absolutely beautifully. Hopefully you can see in there, 54,599 miles recorded. And what an absolutely stunning dash design that is. Warning lights on just for the low fuel, as you can see, but there are no warning lights on the car at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual, pack and locking on that key, all here and present with the car. Right then, it's a quick road test video, and this is for Honda Civic 1.8 SR. Car's registered DU64FWA. As I always say, the reason for these videos is very simple. We just want to make sure that if anyone's looking at the car in an advert online, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. The reason we've always felt it important is because, unfortunately, like far too many people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs, or description, but only to get them find out that there's a obvious fault that shows up when you drive the car. We also do it on these very quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire, and this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on. So the hope is, of course, that it'll be representative of what you'd have felt should you have had a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, lovely vehicle. Engine starts instantly, it settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on one of these vehicles, by the way. Sorry, the only information light on currently is for the low fuel, so that's the reason that's on. Drop of fuel, obviously that'll go out. The engines, as with all Honda 4-cylinders, is an absolute gem. All the things you want and expect of a Honda. They are incredibly tough and reliable, very, very long lasting, with just good regular maintenance. So wait to get by, no horse. But more than that, in some ways, it's just how they drive. It's just such a lovely, smooth, sweet-natured, docile, tractable engine. It really is a fabulous unit to use. Very economical as well, with just driven in a sort of sensible way. they can achieve very, very good fuel economy figures. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, absolutely perfect. Smooth, silent operation, and bites exactly where it should. And then that feeds into this wonderful 6-speed manual gearbox. Honda puts so much effort into making sure that all their controls have a very high quality engineered feel to them, but it's not artificial, it's real, it's more than skin deep. And the gearbox is a classic example of that. It's one of the sorry, just going to concentrate a second. Can't sure what this chap's doing. Got completely sidetracked. There's a hunt on at the moment, so I'm just conscious of the fact that someone could come leaping over the hedge at any moment. But yeah, no, the gear change quality is sensational, because most gearboxes in front wheel drive cars, as this one is, the gear lever is actually not connected directly to the gearbox, it's via cables. So that can mean that you end up with kind of far too often a sort of lifeless, vague, just completely detached feeling gearbox. This feels almost as if the gear lever is going straight into the gearbox. It's that direct and precise. It's a lovely, lovely gearbox to use, and it's one that encourages you to use it rather than feeling as though you have to. The gear change is so kind of slick but mechanical at the same time. It's beautifully done, and that feels exactly as it would have done when it was new. And then we come on to the steering and chassis. The steering is about as good as it can be. It's very quick and direct without ever feeling nervous, very nicely weighted, just very confidence inspiring, but works beautifully with the chassis. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes cars are too keen to turn, but the car just flops about, or they're too slovenly, but this hits the sweet spot. It also tracks dead straight. There's no vibrations at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. But what the chassis also gives you is, as I said in a previous video I've done this morning on one of these cars, if you just want to buy the car to be a tough, reliable car to get you from A to B, and that's pretty much it, it delivers it. It's got a very compliant, very supple, well-judged ride, which will satisfy everyone that wants this type of car. But for those who actually still enjoy their driving, it's got another side to it, which is it's got a keenness and eagerness to change direction. So it flows through corners, because I've sold loads of these to people who may have had either very sporty cars in the past that weren't that practical and need practicality, but they still want to enjoy the drive of the car, and that's what the Civic gives you. It is an enjoyable car to drive. The chassis, by the way, exhibits absolutely no rattles, clonks, anything from underneath. It feels absolutely as tight as a drum in here. I will get up to speed and give the brakes a bit of a shove. I know they're good because I tried them earlier, but for demonstration purposes at least. Really good, powerful brakes on the car. What I'm looking for particularly is for pulsing and vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and there's nothing at all. Absolutely perfect. And then finally to come inside the car, what a wonderful interior, beautifully put together, no squeaks, no rattles, real build quality as I like to refer to it. But it's the architecture, it's the way it's laid out, it's the materials used, it's all easy on the eye. And as I said, every single Civic video I do, I'm completely aware that it's an interior that polarizes opinion. You either love it or you don't. It's simple as that. There's no middle ground with it, and I think that's actually part of really good design. It shouldn't just be where it leaves you going, nah, I've got no opinion. But to Honda's credit, it's not just for looks. It's all for ergonomics. It's all to make your life easier as a driver, but also to look nice, and that's what I love about it. The most conventional part is this center stack, so you've got really nice sat nav, dead easy to use with hands-free telephone. Down below that, dual zone climate control, so you can have different temperatures side to side if you feel that way inclined. that pumps out lovely cold air. We tried that in a nice warm workshop earlier on. And down below that, you've got your heated seats as well. All of the buttons, as is always the case with Honda, have that wonderful high quality damped feel to their controls. It's quite often you press a button in a car and it feels gritty and cheap, and there's nothing like that in the Civic at all. All feels beautifully manufactured, because it is. But my favourite part has always been this two-tier design on the dash directly in front, and for very good reason, because it works so well. When you sat in the car, Honda put the information display up there on the left-hand side, so stuff you may look on a fairly frequent basis. If you were to change radio station, or change your fan speed, like, you got a little display down here, smaller one, which is fine when you're stationary. But if I press a button there, a much bigger, bolder, clearer display comes up high, so you can see it more clearly. But the one I love most is, of course, the speedo, just hovering up there, white on black dials, instant information which you can take in. So you look ahead for horses, cars, pedestrians, whatever happens to be. But at the corner of your eye, you can still see the speed you're travelling at. It's simply genius. And as I often say, it's to Honda's shame, really, that they've now put it back down into the binnacle underneath on the 10th generation, because it kind of gets lost. It works fine, but that's a much better setup. It really, really is. A lovely dash. Then below that, you've got these 3 dials, more conventional ones, rev counter flanked by temperature and fuel gauges. Finally, this lovely leather-bound steering wheel, all in lovely condition in here. It's a wonderful car. I can't fault the way it drives in any way.